I could do that sideways in one-wheel drive.
I expect you to do that now.
No, that's me coming down.
In high range. Two-wheel drive.
No, it's a nice little truck.
Yeah.
What's after that? Is there any more?
Yeah, there's just crossover ruts and wheel lifts and stuff.
Okay.
That's one hell of a crossover rut.
Yeah, up there.
Yeah.
It's a bit sketchy.
It's not that bad.
No, it's not.
Oh, that one. So I'm going to do a bit of that, come across, drive up here, and then go across there.
Yeah, I'll do that. That's a little bit more sensible.
It needs a bit of purpose. It was just, yeah, it needs purpose to some degree. I guess the purpose of doing that is to demonstrate the best line to take. If
Everything else
you
we've done hasn't
had to do this,
perfectly fine.
I'll come up there and maybe I'll just straddle it the whole way. Then I can choose there which way to go. That makes sense. As per usual, Musa is taking the hardest line possible to get the most flex out of his monster truck. This is the biggest weakness I've seen of Musa's four-wheel drive so far, and that is when it gets on a sideways angle like this. That is the only real danger he is in this vehicle for it to, you know, end up pear-shaped. That's about it. Now keep in mind that Musa was just having fun, so he's always going to take the hardest line possible to get the most flex out of his, you know, his beautiful creation flex machine. The line I'm taking, however, is the line that everyone else should do, whether it's a stock vehicle or something that doesn't flex much like my vehicle. Piece of cake. So, for those playing at home, that is the best line to take in any situation, in any vehicle, is to keep the rut between the wheels underneath. There is an exception though. When it is wet, that can be very dangerous. So when it's wet, that's when you usually put your wheels in the rut. Look, you might get away with it, but if it's sloppy and wet, you slip, you are gone. So you might as well get in the ruts straight away. These ruts are a bit different. Obviously there you want to take the chicken trap, but if there's no choice and it's wet, you're better off being in the ruts. But in the dry, it's fine. You can just ride it the whole way. But definitely lower your tyre pressure. The whole time we've been doing all these tracks with Musa, I've been running 14 on the front and 16 on the rear. And that seems to be working. Seems to be working for me. And it is really strange being the only person, well, not the only person, it's really strange being amongst the smallest tyres in the convoy. That is really weird. That's really strange. 35s being the smallest tyres, and the biggest being 40s. On Brad's patrol, they are 37s. So whilst we're waiting for the others to climb up the top, Torben and Brad, Musa was informing me that this is just a leg stretch, and it is just a leg stretch before the Great Hill. Now the Great Hill, that just sounds sketchy from what we've seen so far, but apparently the Great Hill is wait for it, a warm-up before we get to Fire Truck Hill. Who knows what Fire Truck Hill is going to hold? This is Fire Truck Hill. This is where a patrol rolled it last week. He tried to cross through here, according to that guy's story, and then rolled down there. And it's called Fire Truck Hill because a fire truck rolled. What would a fire truck be doing here? Might have been before it was all eroded. Oh, even the chicken track's got stuff on it. We are towards the pinnacle of our journey called Mount Walker. That's coming up. And what you can see at the moment is a false sense of security. There are trees blocking the death-defying drop off the edge. How far down do you reckon that is?
Give it another 5 degrees and it would be a cliff, not a hill. That's
I can't see the bottom.
No, I can't see the bottom. It's got to be steep for about 40 metres, like a cliff drop steep, and then the rest of your way. That's where you get your momentum, and then you just tumble the rest of the way down.
Yeah.
She would have been with convoy coming the other direction.
Bigger car wins, and we got Musses and 40s. The White Patrol has flat. Which one's flat?
This one's over, that comes from the sidewalk.
Oh, okay. Whereabouts? Oh, it's a split.
Didn't say I collected something. Oh my hat. Fully sick, mate.
Wow,
It's nuts, man.
that's a marker. That's pretty hectic.
That all looks loose.
That's not a track.
This hill? Yeah, nah. Not happening. If I was 3,500 k's closer to Perth, I'll give it a go. But not here. If you have been on a few sketchy tracks and you've seen some sketchy sections that you're not sure about and you kind of gave it a miss but you kind of end up doing it anyway, you'll know exactly what I'm going through here right now. Now I can't recall if I got talked into it or if I decided just to give it a go. I reckon there was probably a bit of both. But if you don't feel right about it, don't do it. If there's an easier way around and you don't feel right about it, don't do it. Yet here I am doing exactly what I was trying to avoid. What about the front?
Front's good. Front's going to start climbing up and then you level up.
Okay.
So,
I can't see shit, so.
Yeah, that's what. Because you know you're over the ridge,
yeah.
The rock, so there's a hole. If
yeah.
you fill that up with rocks to keep the leaf spring up, because that was what was holding you back.
Okay.
And then just crawl it.
Yeah.
You've got plenty of traction. Never a rock when you need it.
Oh, there's plenty of rocks on this side.
Pavement princess. You won't go any further than that. No. It's going to level. You can't go further than that. If you didn't stall, it would have been perfect.
It doesn't feel right. Dude. On the back wheel. You guys are crazy. All right.
Drive now. Right. Right. No, don't give it right. Put the wheel back the other way. You're making it worse by turning. All right.
Asked for a winch like a metre ago. I'm myself.
You can't really go anywhere now.
Yeah, well, you keep saying that, but look at this side. I know I can't roll down, but I can tip on the side.
All right. Look. Hang in there. We'll go put some rocks on the rear. Go forward, keep them on that rim there. Ah.
What is it?
You got a rock that's clamping into your inside of your rim.
Yeah, well, yeah. I've been trying to go forward, but it doesn't want to go forward. That's what I'm trying to tell everyone. It's a funny situation when you got like 4 people telling you to keep going, and you asked for a winch 2 meters ago, and you keep going more and more that way. I can't take off gently because I've got too much dust in the box. So every time I try and take off, it's going too fast, and everyone's going whoa, whoa, whoa. So I don't think everyone understands the situation.
Back wheel's wedged in the rock, so every time he accelerates, lifts up more. So let's do the safe option.
slide that damper down to the middle way? That damper, if you want to slide that.
Drive it.
Feeling so much better now. Oh, I'm glad I went and dug a hole and did a number 2 earlier. Oh man. Building my road, building my road. Doing a bit of road building on the last hill. This is the last hill, which I felt like I nearly didn't make. The last climb. This is very steppy, the whole way to steps. I'm going to stay to the far left most of the time. I may actually cross over, although everyone's telling me not to, but I'll have another look. Up there is the end. We've got to come back down what we're driving up, which I have no problem with at all, driving down. Going up, I've chosen to go this line here, so if I don't get it right, it could turn out to be a little bit dodgy, but I'll hit it in one go and go up. Pretty confident in that. Torben's going to take
The steep one.
more of like a face-on, straight-on approach. If he keeps building, I might do that one too.
Just enough to get the tail shaft to just skim past.
Yeah, I think you've done that with that side now. Now you shouldn't touch.
That's it. 4 rocks aside.
On this final hill climb, momentum is everything. As soon as you stop, you start sliding on rocks, and on this steep stuff, it's a struggle to take off again. With Musa and his monster GU at the top, it's now Michelle's turn to take Brad's GU up, followed by the V8s.
Now, that's what you call a tucker moment.
Tucker moment?
Tucker moment.
Ah.
Smell the clutch.
Yeah,
Let's let that cool down.
Last hill, and I'm the lucky last one to head up. My method here is just momentum constantly. I cannot stop because I struggle to take off with that much dust clogged up in my air filter. Here goes.
First.
First gear. That sounds a bit fast for first gear.
How was that section?
Very fast.
As you can see, lift go, that's where we are, pointing more or less that way. The arrows are actually a little bit incorrect. And out the window, lift go.
You made it. We're at the top of Mount Walker.
That was a bit fast there, wasn't it? And here we are at the peak of Mount Walker. Elevation 1,172 meters. That's pretty high for Australian standards. And what a thrilling drive that was to get up there. Not for the faint-hearted. I'll tell you what, folks, if you don't get yourself to the top of Mount Walker looking at lift go, well then you just won't get here. Yo, Brad, chug us a beer, mate. We're going to be here for a while.
Coming over.
Thanks, mate. Jesus. Oh well, half a beer then, we can leave a bit earlier.
You see that come from a mile away.
Everyone that's watched the series, thank you very much for watching, and a special thanks to Musa and the Aussie 4-Wheelers crew for showing us around in their backyard. It was epic, good fun, very satisfying, lots of spills and thrills. Look forward to coming back and doing some more stuff with you guys. Also a major thank you to all my patrons on Patreon for helping support the channel so we can make this kind of content and all the other stuff that goes on the channel. Thank you guys very, very much for your support. It means a lot. And of course, those brands mentioned on the screen, thank you very much for helping us in any means possible, whether it's vehicle service or fuels. Thank you all. Thanks for watching. See you next time.